It's time!
We're here in the temple.
No, I didn't realize that we started with only 291 rupees. Which is, like, exactly enough that anything in a chest is too much for you to get.
Yep. We're pros.
You got a bug.
I found
Female
a snail.
snail.
So good.
Can we move that weird statue yet? We need a thing?
We need a thing.
Yeah.
Someday.
Touch your face?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Yep.
It really feels like touch your face weather.
No, I'm pretty sure it's not.
It's very cold out.
It is cold out. I was shivering all day today.
Is it because you left your front door open again?
No, I kept it closed this time, but I left the windows open for a while, and I realized that was a mistake. Oh, I didn't do laundry day. Balls. That sucks.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I did laundry. It wasn't that long ago, but it should have been sooner.
I hear that. I love that that's the solution to that problem. They're not just like, oh, we''t make them appear here. Like...
But it just doesn't, I don't get it. Like, I don't, it's not as though this temple somehow prohibits the use of pots, so, like, why does that need to happen?
I don't know. Apparently, there's no way into it for anyone, even them, until you put the thing in the thing. Here we are!
Oh, that's what it's supposed to be? I guess that makes sense, but at the same time, like, I feel like that's kind of true of the other locations. I mean, I'm not coherent enough to think it through properly, but, like, how did it get in the water temple? How did it get in the water temple?
It swam.
No, it didn't.
No problem.
You were wrong.
It swam, no problem.
You're very wrong.
What? There was something here. What's going on? Oh, she told us to use our senses. Let's just do that. Why
Did
not?
she?
Yeah.
I thought I used my senses in this room.
That's
No.
subtle.
It's really unnecessary. Frankly, though, like, her entire, like, telling you this feels unnecessary to me. Because, like, literally they've established this whole... The temple is built in such a way that, like, there's only ever one way to progress except that one time where you can miss something super important.
Right.
So, like, obviously you're going to find the right thing eventually or you won't beat the temple.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, like, kind of annoying that she gives you this obvious piece of information and then, like, doesn't help you with...
Well, and then
obvious
compare
things.
it to, like, the Midway boss. Do you remember her helpful advice at that point in time?
Yeah, that was super useful.
I would trade that gladly.
Let's see. Lantern. It's a thing! Let's open the chest.
I don't think it's such your face weather. You sure?
I'm
My
pretty
hand's
sure.
very cold
No, I'm
now.
sure. I'm sure it's
Because it's very cold outside?
Well, I'm already cold, so I don't need your coldness.
Well, right, but that means that you won't even notice. Which is better? Why is that better? You explain to me why that's better.
It's definitely not better.
Not so fast. I am a horrible chicken. Look at my sag. That's right. My sag.
Do you think we're supposed
Look
to
at
talk to
her
it at some
sag.
point? Like, while we're here? Like, or after beating the boss or something?
I mean, you can maybe, but, like, what would it do it would just...
I don't know.
It would just offer to warp you, wouldn't it? Like, isn't that all it does?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hi, Spider.
I don't know, they just sort of establish it as like, oh, this is like time for its story time, and then it like doesn't.
Well, yeah, but like it doesn't have a story. There's a lot of confusing things about this temple. Ask me what I think of this temple.
What do you think of this temple?
It's probably my second or third favorite in the game.
Really?
Yes. I gave this a lot of thought. And for those of you who have already started watching, well, no, how long does it take? Like, at least 2 episodes, because the first episode, nothing happens.
Yeah, it's pretty much us in this room.
It's pretty much this room, because pots, I guess. Question mark?
Because something.
But, my issues with the controls aside, which I also managed to figure out, I figured out why it was so confusing for me the entire time, the button mapping they did for the thing you learn how to do in this temple is because the B button is naturally the cancel button.
Right.
But it's not.
Right.
When you're using him, it's the action button, and A is the cancel button, and
Right.
that's why I kept wanting to do it the opposite way. Just like
Got it.
inherently.
Okay. I'm with you.
So, like, I understand why that's the case. Like, why they did it that way, because obviously all the other shit is, like, B is mapped to your, like, active button.
Right.
But, like, it was still very frustrating for me for that reason.
Yep.
which I think is legitimate because that would be like making your like jump button like circle on PlayStation. Like you wouldn't do that. Circle is the cancel button.
Right.
And like X is the jump button. So like that would just be a weird thing to do.
I mean, there's also like Hideo Kojima controls, which just makes circle select for some reason.
Well, yes. I mean, you are aware that like originally like that was supposed to be the case,
No, I know,
which like I don't understand at all. I imagine they picked that up from like the Super Nintendo because I feel like that's like the closest analog where like they would have had reason to second guess themselves on that. But the reason why this temple was such struggle times is just because I'm in such a terrible mental place. I have what I call my limit, which, like, to be precise, is like I'm actually pretty good about handling difficult situations or stress up to a point. And it's sort of like a range because, like, I hit the bottom threshold and, like, I start getting frustrated, but usually it doesn't present itself as anything more than me being, like, slightly more sarcastic or difficult than usual. But near the top end of the range, which is where I am now, I swear a lot more often, and just about anything will be just like the end of the world for me.
Yep.
Just it takes like nothing to just really utterly piss me off.
Yep. So this temple was a lot of fun for you.
So if you really just want some like insight into like how I deal with stress, like watch my run of this temple.
There you go.
Because it basically starts at like halfway through that range I just described, and really definitely hits the top end. So you've made some. Wow, that arrow is stuck right in that guy's neck.
You know it.
So there's like a bunch of lizards for some reason. It's not a lizard temple. It actually is kind of nice that they added the spider enemy to establish the fact that spider exists, even though it feels really unnatural because like it's just weird. Like spider just shows up a couple times here and like is unimportant.
Right.
But you know, at least they made an effort. I appreciate that.
I like the lizards. They like allow you to have an enemy that doesn't instantly die to one attack, and like actually have some sword fighting. Ugh, of course.
I think the annoying thing to me about the lizards is simply, again, like just sort of like the construction of just the physical space of the temple. Like it just feels like there's a lot of like narrow, weird, angular bits throughout the whole temple. And they cause problems both with, like, the sort of puzzle-solving thing and also with, like, fighting the lizards. Like, fighting lizards on stairs is kind of annoying.
Right.
Because you want to use, like, jump attacks.
Right.
I feel better about myself that it took you, like, 0 seconds to take your first hit from that.
It's true. Which way do you think it'll take us?
I don't remember. I can't be bothered.
Hey, that's the one I wanted.
You sure?
Yep.
Here, wait, let me do a test. Says your face.
No,
it's very cold.
Jesus, it's so cold.
It's very cold.
See a doctor.
What? I was watching something where someone was, like, talking about, like, the circulation of someone's hands, and they're like, you should see a doctor. You could have, like, this very specific disease. I was like, I haven't heard of that. Maybe I have that.
Alright, now somewhere around here was that other...
Was the other what?
There it goes. That other thing. I guess it's on the other side, huh? Oh, look out.
Oh, yeah. It's the other side.
A junk.
No, actually, I was gonna say, like, I don't see a reason why you couldn't just, like, put a statue on either side so you don't have this dumb thing where you could just miss it. But then you would need to get the one from downstairs. Although I really don't know that I feel that portion of the level is really necessary.
Yeah, it doesn't do much.
It feels, like, random.
Let's go in here.
Okay. Mid-boss!
No.
They closed the doors to mid-boss! That's how it works. Ask Midna how the mid-boss works. Ask Midna how Babby is formed.
How Babby is formed?
Yeah, how is Babby formed?
What's a Babby exactly?
It's a Babby, you know. It's like a stork comes around and delivers a Babby.
And provides Babby.
And provide Babby.
I killed the dudes. Oh, it's a thing!
Oh, I understand your confusion. You never played Yoshi's Island, so you don't know how stork works.
It's true. You know, there's a movie about storks coming out. Do you see that?
No, I haven't actually.
Yeah, it was advertised during that that Disney movie that the professor's obsessed with.
Yeah.
It looks kind of funny. I don't know.
Okay. Have you seen the trailer for what is it called? A sausage Party? Sausage Festival?
Oh, I have. That looks interesting.
Really? Because
No?
I was going to say that looks like maybe the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
Like, I'm super not into that at all.
I feel like it could be a fun concept, no?
To me, well, like, it's just a little too vulgar. I mean, obviously we, like, swear a ton on this, and we use, like, multiple innuendo for every sentence.
Right.
Oh, baby.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, to me there's sort of, like, I don't know, it seems probably hypocritical for me to say, but, like, I feel like there's a certain amount of that you could do before you start just doing it for its own sake.
Right.
And then it just seems kind of crude at that point.
Right.
So, like, while I do appreciate, you know, some blue humor every now and then, the whole, like, Seth Rogen school of just, like, swearing and drugs all the time, like...
Not so much for you.
It's not my favorite, and I feel like he's also really worn it out. Like, basically every movie he's done, like, since he became famous, has been, like, virtually the exact same thing.
Steve Jobs. He was in that.
I didn't see him in that, but you're right. He was in that.
But
he was probably doing drugs in that.
Your point is certainly taken. He's,
So,
Oh, I messed up.
I did the same thing.
You did.
Touch your face.
No, don't do it. That's not an invitation to do that.
But, like, so there's that factor. But also just, like...
Camera's not good in this level.
No, it's not great. There's I mean, I think it's, again, partially just because of the tight corners and stuff. There's a couple areas where it just sort of, like, starts weirding out.
Right.
But, like, the Sausage Festival... Which is it? Sausage Party?
Something. I don't know.
Whatever. The dick joke movie. Like, it's just so deeply upsetting. Like, the inherent concept of just, like, food being aware that you're going to eat it and somehow being surprised that that is horrible.
Yeah.
Is, like, really upsetting.
I mean, it's kind of a concept you can imagine a bunch of stoned people coming up with, right?
Yes.
Like, it seems pretty... Like, I feel like I've had this idea before.
Yeah.
While under the influence. Like, it's just a thing that people have.
I mean, it is, and that's fine. Like, it's a perfectly fine, like, hypothetical to, like, make jokes about, but, like, I don't think I have any interest in seeing a whole movie about it. It just seems upsetting.
I can agree with that. I'm not sure it's actually something that I would want to see.
Yeah, I mean, and I can understand why someone would have interest in it. To me, it seems awful, though.
I can definitely see why it's not your cup of tea.
Also, I don't like tea, so that doesn't help.
No, that doesn't help at all.
Do you like tea? I don't think I actually know.
Not really.
Do you have a preference between hot tea or iced tea? Or iced tea from film and television?
Well, he's my favorite of all the teas.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think I would agree with that.
I don't like cold tea at all.
So, like, hot tea is like you could deal with it, but, like, iced tea is like a deal breaker?
Yeah, no, I won't drink iced tea. It's not gonna happen. Will you die already?
The armored one is definitely tougher. Which makes sense, but, like, also doesn't because you, like, still hit him. Like, you still, like, deal the same number of hits. He just cares less. I don't know. Something about that. I fucking hate that shit. There you go.
Ain't no thing.
Are we done yet? I feel like we're done. You've already, like, finished the temple.
We're making progress for sure.
Are we going home?
I would like some health.
You found one.
There's a health.
I'm actually surprised you've taken as much damage as you have.
I mean, I've been
It's
kind
not
of lazy with this playthrough and just sort of running through it as quickly as possible. So it doesn't suit.
No, you shouldn't do that because if you procrastinate long enough, then we can make a funny joke out of mine at that moment where you insist that we should do another episode and I insist that we don't, and like we decided we probably wouldn't fade, because then it would just seem like I was being an asshole. Which
that was a bad idea.
Oh. Wait a minute, you're not. What about the soccer move?
The soccer move?
Yeah! Shooting with the arrow doesn't make the cool noise.
It's true, it doesn't.
You have to do the
cool
stupid
noise.
Vasco thing.
Why am I doing this? It's just for money. I'm out of here. This is stupid.
But the noise.
Whatever. I'll have to do the noise at some point, so I'll just deal with it then.
Okay.
Look, it's a thing. What could it possibly mean? How could I ever solve this?
I don't know. Shut up is why. What? What day is it?
It's March.
It's today. Now you gotta throw those things.
Why can't I climb this? Can I?
You
can
can,
climb this,
yeah.
So what's the point? Great. Bye.
Shut up. Touch your face.
Good times.
Or you can go over there for that statue if you really want.
Oh, I suppose if I really wanted to, I could take that.
That lets you sequence break, doesn't it? Like,
yeah.
mildly?
Yeah.
Like, the lamest sequence break of all time?
Yep.
Like, seriously, that saves you, like, almost nothing. Because you end up having to go through that room again anyway, so it doesn't really... Yep, that was it. No, that was it. You gotta... I was really hoping that would actually work. Even though it would be super stupid if it did.
It would be super stupid.
I like the design of the laser eye things in this place. Because, you know, we've had, like, different ones.
Yeah,
like,
they look
temples,
nice in
but, like,
in
these
this
ones are
temple.
pretty cool.
For sure, absolutely.
Does the skull guy have, like, an extra hit or something? Like,
No,
he's not as tough as armor guy.
I think he's actually... Is he weaker?
I don't know. The finishing blow sort of makes it impossible to gauge.
Yeah, it really does.
How about that pendulum?
Love it. What's this? Key.
It is a thing.
I got a key, you guys. Don't you worry.
I'm just gonna start pushing random buttons so you slow down.
No, don't.
This one. There,
You
turn into a
saved
wolf.
me. Perfect.
Did that stop you from turning into a wolf, or did you try?
I did not try to
Okay.
turn into a wolf.
That would have been interesting to know.
Check out this move.
Oh. Touch your face.
No, don't do it.
You sure?
Don't do it.
My hand's already, like, moving.
Definitely don't do it.
But...
You definitely should not do it.
I could, but I could do it.
Alright, we're going up here.
It's much easier to do when you're playing because you're more focused on trying to be good at stuff, which is something that's like not one of my weaknesses. Well, that's not the thing that makes the cool noise, although it's pretty sweet, because you know Beyblade, obvious reasons. But you have to soccer ball.
I don't have it out, so I'm too lazy.
Did he break that pot?
It did. Look at it. It's breaking pots left, right, and left. Okay, fine.
Is that to like? Is that to create the possibility of like fucking up your room? I didn't know they could do that.
Certainly an interesting thing. Oh look, I got a box.
Yeah, what could be in the box tag?
A useless amount of money.
Or it could be a boat. You don't know.
Wrong.
Nope, that was it. You did it. He's dead now. Oh, what? How did he survive that? I didn't.
What?
What's he? What is he?
I think I broke him. Right.
He broke all the pots. Oh no, there's some pots upstairs.
Hey there, friend.
There's upstairs pots. Why are those things capable of breaking pots? There are very few enemies that can do that. Well, I guess there are very few enemies positioned in such a way to do that. Cause like, shit like the lizard guys probably could, but they're like never in pot. Like pots are always off in the corner.
Yeah.
Oh, something seems weird about that.
Oh no, wait, I don't want that yet, do I?
You don't care.
I'm going to leave this
Okay,
room.
fine.
Here we go, and I got a key and
Do you have
everything.
to return to your home planet?
Yep. My people need me.
Whoosh.
What's in here? Ooh, it's dramatically lit. That must mean a boss.
No, but we already had the halfway because the door closed behind you. That's how that works.
Oh, what is this?
And the bell thing slams shut on you and you're trapped forever until you die of starvation.
That sounds awful. Look, there's the thing. I gotta fight this
Yeah,
guy.
go pick it up. What do you mean? There's no guy.
Hey, guy. He's been waiting here for 3,000 years.
Do we want to save this for next time? Even though this is slightly short, it might make for a more interesting temple.
Sure. Join us then.
How come you can't, like, pick up his armor and throw it at him, like, with those weird little, like, squeaky turtle pig things?
Ow! He stabbed me.
He did do that. How come you never see that in, like, fantasy shit? Someone just be like, ah! He stabbed me!
Oh,
Like, people
time.
getting stabbed all the time in fantasy shit. Everyone's got swords.